Hello, everybody. Have a great night. See ya. Just kidding. No, hope everybody's having a great night. Tonight is going to be a little bit of a rough night for me because I want to talk about things that people don't usually like to talk about, but which are also the things that impede us from moving forward. There's a lot of chaos going on. The reconciliation process is not meant to be some kind of it is very should be very specific to the actual problem, right? In my employment contract, for example, I agreed the reconciliation process would happen between myself and my employer. With in any other reconciliation process, you cannot have a reconciliation process with the American people. You can't start playing the victim now, Sandy Cortez, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, or um, Cody, Katie. I forget your name, but you you shouldn't try to start having a reconciliation process with the American people while you're also in the legislative branch of the United States, because the reconciliation process with the American people means that you would actually have to start with understanding what American people want and what they need, and you actually showing respect and giving people the dignity that they deserve as parents. So I have a hunch that it's possible that you're probably in Congress right now because you're being used. I hate that. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want my kids to be used. I'm going to get to that in a minute. There's a whole other sort of plan and hidden agenda for you, as there is for me as well, but I am totally standing up against it. I will interfere with any plans from lousy Democrats that really only want to enslave us for the rest of our lives. At least with Republicans, we're going to be working, but it's on a real honorable competition. With Democrats, is it's putting an uneducated, unqualified people in power to get rich off of getting the pork money, really. They're pork funded because people have to pay for them to go to Congress and show up and then cry about how people want to kill them. And believe me, people have tried to kill me too, which is what I'm trying to get at now. But first, I want to say that my motive is rooted in what the soul really means. Okay, so a country, territory, land does not have a soul. People have a soul. You can't rescue the soul of a nation or a country. That's very romantic, and geez, I mean, for everybody, for every veteran who is still living in the streets, for every like real helpless, needy person that needs attention. Wow, you you rock. You're the star. Okay, I'm gonna start by saying, but first I'm gonna take a really quick drink of my wine because it's only 9:42. So give me a break, okay? I stop at 10. when my video is over, hopefully. I'm going to read a verse from the book of Matthew. This is Matthew 12, verse 32. And whoever speaks a word against the Son of Man will be forgiven. But whoever speaks against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven, either in this age or in the age to come. So I want to explain a little bit about the meaning of that verse. What that means is that when people try to make you feel like you're not a nice and good person, and they're doing it to like get ahead for some reason or whatever. It could be for dealing drugs, it could be for a different crime. Drugs is the most obvious. I mean, you can plant them on people. I get it. Like, I know it's not like I'll get to that in a minute, but still, this is when there's a serious problem, because when people are not allowing you to be a nice and godly driven person, you have to answer to that. And this is the only reason that when Jesus says that he came here to bring us the sword, he came here to make sure that we don't necessarily need him to be here. We need him to respond to our own attacks. Sorry, I have to go close by. Okay, so we're being nice. We're being nice. People that are God fearing and that expect for a better future, expect for have faith, right? Faith. What happened to that word? Faith. And um, what happens to us is that we have leadership that wants to erase certain qualities about being a human, like with Kamala Harris, for example. And she's the only reason that I hesitate, and it may seem like I'm going easy on Kamala Harris, is not because she's a woman or a woman of color. I feel like maybe she's an obese, like she's just new to this whole system. And then I stand back and think, no, she's kind of like she's been in Plantation, California. She was the girlfriend. That's why she got there. That's my bet on it. Acknowledge that that is her position on how she got there. I don't mean to like label women as whores or uh, virtuous, um, but I do know a whore when I see one. And ooh, all right, I'm gonna stop there. Okay, so the thing with the hoary leader, like the whores, is they don't want people to see the truth. Like they don't want people to be like enlightened people. They want people to think that, oh well, we know the secrets of all. We know, we've seen all the horrific, because she's a prosecutor. I'm pretty sure, like, if you're a person that's witnessing crime and that sort of thing, you start to think, wow, like I can see this and become like entirely detached and think you're not a part of it. At the same time, you can also create a war between like two nations just by your ignorance that you're actually born with, because any other You're just you were always a bad prosecutor. You were always a bad, which is why you should have always just stayed in California with all the other dumb people. And you're lucky to have me here, by the way. Okay, so ask me if I've ever tried to get Mexican people to be like, oh, all Chicanas, like, oh, Chican. Nope. Hell no. Get fucking real. Okay. So don't let anybody block you from being the person that you need to be. But okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what we're going to talk about today. So my brothers, my let's start with my dad. My dad was in prison for kicking my mom's ass and dealing drugs back in the 1980s, late 1980s, early 1990s. It sucks for him, really, because it turns out my mom is a whore. She basically went on to get beat by somebody else anyway. But my mom has this like thing with me where she wants to fool me into thinking that she's actually a good mom. Like, no, you were on welfare the whole time. You actually like I was your lifeboat the whole time. She welcomed a illegal uh person from her own town to try and fool me. She still does now. Her name is Sylvia Castellanos. My mom's name is Maria Rodriguez Gonzalez, blah 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 blah, and it goes on and on. So these two fools, they think that they can be my mom. And when I had my kids, I was like, I'm emancipated. I'm emancipated. What did I do? I thought, I have faith in God. I'm gonna I'll keep it cool with these people, with these drug dealing people, right? Oh, because they deal drugs. They try to my dad probably also deals drugs. I don't know. From my experience with my dad was that he specifically told me, don't ever deal drugs. He even showed me, he's like, this right here, a rock, don't ever do it. Don't That was my experience with my dad. With my mom, when I was cleaning her room after her sorry ass wetback fuck, what do they call him, the a camote was in her bed giving her ugh. Oh god, he got on top of me once. Like, oh god, like I went and told her like straight up like, hey, put that fucking piece of shit on check. There was like, cocaine. So who knows what Maria Asuncion Rodriguez really is, right? She's a whore to me. She's a whore to me because of what she did to me, trying to make me look like I'm her. That's hoary. You're a whore, Maria. You're not my mother. You're just some fucking trash. I don't lend my kids to you. I've never lended my kids to you. I've tried to keep my kids from you all the way up until the crackhead that you probably have things in common with because you're like the domestic abuse victim, love to have around you. And because you've cursed me and said that I have to turn out to be a domestic abuse victim like you. And I don't have to, actually. I really don't. But I don't want to be the person that like creates this appearance that makes them look like they're not drug dealers. Who do they have living with them? Felix Martinez has told me himself that my brother Eric Huizar sat with El Chepe. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm just gonna ask El Chepe. El Chepe, can I defend myself from these fools of yours? Because you say that you can defend yourself, so can I. I don't have to live like these drug dealing people and always afraid and intimidated. That's what they do. And guess what? this police department has stopped going after drug dealers, and they have rather decided to come after people like me, that they think that if they come after that, either because these drug dealers are trying to like play like, like they're like the cops, and being some kind of uh like they're the authority, right? They're the fake authority, instead of actually going after the people that they need to be locking up and actually uh you know yeah, right. You can't actually uh what's the word I'm thinking of? You can't rehabilitate these people. Like, these people are born the way they are, and that's the way they're gonna be, and they're gonna attack people like me, and they're gonna attack, and they're gonna want to go on. The reason that I don't like money is because money has come too easy for Sylvia Castellanos, whom was Papi Chulo's daddy. Like she was like, oh, oh my God, I forget. I just thought of this earlier. She's She used to go to my brother like he was the puppy chulo daddy, and my brother used to fucking try and kick her to the curb the whole time, like ever since I fucking met her. Like I was like 17, 18. My brother Eric Weezer tried to kick this fucking Sylvia Castellanos whore out to the curb, like get the hell out. She's a sticky bitch. She tries to stick to me, and Diego is and her little fucking, and his little fucking fat whore Eleo bitch try and crawl up in me, like try to get under my skin. Oh my God. Stop dealing drugs, guys. Ask El Chepe. Ask El Chepe. Like, that's what happened to him. Okay. So yeah, I mean, these whores are like seriously like, I'm not like a papi chulo bitch. Like, no way. Like, hell no. Like, you better fucking be all fucking orderly and shit. All right? No, but these whores like seriously like let's talk to them. Let's talk to these girls and like, yeah, sure, ladies. And let's find out why they think that I need to be suffering for their consequences. Like, what? No. Oh, because of Ruben Bustamante Silva. Oh, okay. The person that I told that I was going to leave as soon as I got a job in 2004, whom I never let put a hand on my kids, whom I never let have any kind of say as to what's happening in my kids' lives, because of the crackhead he is, because of the culichi town he is. All right. So take your shit, shove it up your mother's ass in whatever fucking, like fucking Amazon looking mountain, which is probably going to be fucking disappearing and burned down in the next few years anyway. I've never dealt drugs. I've never benefited from drugs, either directly or indirectly. People that my kids now think are their family are the people that try to make me look like I'm some drunk loser. Oh, by the way, good time to have a sip of my wine, which I paid for with my hardworking money, not from drugs, not from men, just because I like wine and I like to be a person that actually earns my own living without hurting other people, and by being a good citizen and legitimate. So there you go. So let's ask El Chapo what he thinks about me and taking my self defense. Because if I have to go up with Emma, oh my God, let's do it. if I have to go out with it. And anybody else, like, what people are gonna try and use Maria, the whore. Do you want me to tell you what I told my kids today? What I Let me tell you what I told my kids today, so that everybody's on the same page here. In Matthew chapter 12, verses 48, but Jesus said in reply to the one who challenged him, "Who is my mother? Who are my brothers?" And stretching out his hand toward his disciples, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my heavenly Father is my brother and sister and mother." Those drug dealers that try to make me look bad so that they can keep dealing drugs and keep trying to make me look bad are not my family. I made no mistake in introducing my kids to this type of trash. It was very intentional. So if my kids can interact with them and not have to drag me in every time to save them from their horror and their negotiations about, then they're probably going to go down. But if they keep trying to drag me down with them in this hole of trash, yeah, talk about getting a shovel. I'm not going to give my kids a shovel. I'm going to give my kids the education they need. This is what they needed to hear. This is what they have to know. I'm moving on. You deal drugs and you want everybody else to, and it's not okay. It's not normal. I'm not normalizing drug dealing. I'm not normalizing. What the fuck is, there's no two genders. What I'm by, like, what? What the, I don't even, like, these people couldn't be engineers. So they have to, like, try and engineer society, which is kind of, like, really sad. Either way, Chapo, my friend, aquí también yo me defiendo. Yo no ataco a nadie. Aquí me defiendo, simplemente. Así es que, bueno, ojalá que no haya muchas diferencias entre los dos. Simplemente con que los negocios de el uno al otro no se interfieran, todos en paz, ¿verdad? No me interfiero con ustedes no se interfieren conmigo, muy bien. Allá, una vez mi abuela le dijo a un tío mío, Satanás, ahí se los encargo. Así es que, así estamos. Y no para provocar risa, pero para provocar lo que es la realidad. Lo que es algo que